everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Reet. I'm a PhD student in Hyderabad University, and today we have Sneha with us. Sneha is a PhD scholar in Tezpur University. She is pursuing her PhD in English. And yeah, let's just switch over to us in a minute or so. Okay, let's begin. Yes, Sneha, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Snehalakhi. I am a research scholar at the Department of English, Tezpur University. Reet, a very good friend of mine, I feel like I should introduce her as well because she's
Oh,
also, pursuing her PhD from a very good institution, which was also a place where I did the first part, like the first a few months of my master's as well, which is University of Hyderabad. So, Reet, yeah, you're pursuing your PhD from over there. How do you feel about it?
so it's great
I'm
experience.
I'm turning this a you thing, I know, but yeah, let's just keep it casual, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
And see
fine.
where this goes.
Yeah, so it's great. Well, yes, Hyderabad is a nice place. And department
Mm-hmm.
is nice. Everything is going well. It's fine. But I'm missing JNU. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. I shouldn't ideally, but then
Yeah.
I am. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the coursework is going on. Everything is fine. Just
Okay.
rushing. I feel it's almost been a year now. So yeah, it's fine. Okay. So now, well, let's
Good to
just
hear that.
stick to the topic for
Mhm.
now. So yeah,
Okay, okay, sure.
like you said, you're doing your PhD in Tezpur University. I would like to know what are your interest areas, and yeah, primarily I would be talking about how did you prepare for PhD proposal, how many places you applied for, and what was the interview like? How did you prepare your proposal and all of that? So first of all, like what area you're working on. So yeah.
Right. So the area that I am currently that I found myself in is one that I didn't really. I mean, it was an area that I was somewhat aware of, existence wise, but it's not one that I actively chose.
Okay.
Okay, so it's English language teaching. And the reason why I said I didn't instinctively choose it is because I had other interests, which is popular culture because of a very good teacher of ours, influence,
Yeah.
Bhaduri sir. So I always found myself gravitating towards it. But
Hmm.
then one thing happened, and suddenly I found myself diving into this, I would say, the practical side, the applied part of, linguistics. And yeah, it's been great so far. And it's always nice to challenge yourself and see where, life takes you and not really worry about the greater things in life. And but so far, so good. I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun really experimenting with a methodology that I never, ever really had any experience, with to begin with, like fieldwork as such, or even the statistics based methods and tools and all of that, scales and all that, because what we primarily do in literature classes is mostly theory based, right? And mostly interpretation and just having that heuristic thing of you having this theory and then you be applying it and you proving it, or disproving, refuting, whatever happens, it happens in your in the comfort of your space. You
Yeah.
don't really have to move outside of it. You don't have to flaneur outside of it. But now, it's a lot of going to different places, collecting data and all of that, and so yeah, having fun.
Great, great, great. So like for now, I would like to know like what topic did you come, as you said, you worked on popular culture. So how much time did it take you to prepare? And you said you were actually motivated by professor that you wanted to work on popular culture. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how much time did it take for you? And what specifically like just a glimpse of it, just a glance of it, you can just say what you worked on and how much time did it take? And
Mhm.
yeah.
how much time did it take to prepare the proposal? That
Yeah.
is what I think you're talking about.
Yes.
But yeah, to prepare my proposal, which I'm not working on currently, that didn't take. There's two answers to it. See, it didn't take long because I didn't necessarily prepare for it after I was done with my master's.
Okay.
Right. So I had it ready, it was there as a handy tool because I did it for my dissertation. So the other answer is I prepared an entire semester for it. Right.
Mm.
And yeah, that tends to happen when you're done with it's not like you're done with your master's, but when you're in the last semester of your master's program, and then you find yourself a bit conflicted because you are not sure as to what you're going to do. I mean, yeah, PhD is the traditional route after you're done with your master's, but then there's also other avenues. Yet again, you face yourself with this dilemma. Would you be interested in pursuing these other avenues, as it is not what people are directly inclined towards. Mostly, I mean, if you come from small towns or small the places where there aren't a lot of job opportunities related to your field, and then you have to really make sure that you're working with the time constraints, right? And at the same time, you're not putting yourself at a disadvantage. So PhD is always in the back of your mind, and that is why I think I did it, and what most of my friends did as well, I think, is that they used their dissertation because they prepared it for the better half of the last semester, and took that as a work that they are interested in, and presented it in front of the panel, because you're also taking a risk, right? You're like, "Oh, what's going to happen?" It's just, and the good thing about PhD interviews these days is that it happens twice a year. So I wasn't really worried about the outcome. I was like, I'll just present it for the time being. I'll get the experience, I'll get the insights, and then I might prepare, well, or, better at least in the next round of interviews and things as such, somewhere else where I'm presenting. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, like for the viewers,
Mhm.
you applied in the July session itself, right? And you got selected. I think your camera is off.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
sorry.
you got selected in the July session itself, right?
Mhm.
Uh, hmm. So like so it's pretty early. Like usually people take some time and then, in the December session they apply. So what do you suggest? What worked for you that you got into PhD admission so quickly? Uh, yeah.
Mhm. Well, first off, I'll have to emphasize on how lucky I am because and here's the thing. I applied for I mean, I submitted my application around, I think it was around like March or April,
Okay.
without really thinking too much about it because I thought no one would take it seriously, right? So I did it. And then if you remember it, Reed, it was around the end of May, probably, when the weather was changing in Delhi and was getting hotter and hotter. You
Yeah,
wanted to move out, but then
yes.
you're not done with your dissertation, and then you have to submit your dissertation by the first week of June. So we were all pretty busy with that, right? We just had to submit it, and I remember just dragging everything because I needed to get the word count. I just wanted to get it over with. So that happened, and during that first week of June, I got the mail, which I didn't know at the time, that I was to send. Uh, I think it was a statement of purpose. I guess I was to send a statement of purpose by around 12th of June, and then the interview would be in the last week of June. I didn't know that. A friend of mine had called me around, I think, 15th or 16th of June, asking me if I had sent the SOP because he was procrastinating or something. And I'm like, SOP? SOP of what? Where? And by the time I got to know of it, the deadline, I think I took it as a deadline. The deadline was already over. So I was panicking and I was like, this place is gone. Never mind. I'll do it next time if I'm, if luck is in my favor and all that. But I called the HOD. I mailed the HOD and then I called the HOD, and he listened to everything. I was just stumbling over my words, but he listened to everything and then he sorted things. It's like, I'll send it right now. It's fine. So that's another thing. You don't need to. It's not that you don't need to, but please do not panic. I know that is your first instinct. If something goes wrong, you instantaneously start to panic and you're like, what's going to happen now? I'm my life is over. But that's not the first thing that you should do. Probably calm down and reach out to these people, because these are human beings at the end of the day. And no matter how strict the rules are, I'm sure at the end of the day, if you have a good enough reason, they will listen to you and they'll, try to find of a way to manage things.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm.
So how is Tezpur University like? How you're finding the place? And the shift
Mm.
from JNU to Tezpur University, how do you find it?
Right, right. Oh, that's a packed question. It's been a year,
Huh.
so I think I should have an answer by now. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You see, that tends to happen because I keep on talking and talking, and then I forget what the question was originally. So you asked me, I think, how did I get into Tejpur or something, right? After I was done with it, right? I
Yeah.
just presented. I presented. I took my proposal. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever you think of your proposal, regardless of if you think you're ready or not, that is your work, right? And even if it's worked on quite a lot, that is yours. No other person out there in the panel knows it better than you. So you have to be confident of whatever you're preparing, even if it's a last minute thing, and present it, because at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, right? So to speak. So even if it goes wrong, it's fine, but just for the time being, have some confidence in your work, because if you don't have confidence in your work, no one else is going to have any confidence in you, so to speak, because you need to prove this one thing attribute that you have, and you need to prove it to your prospective supervisor who might be sitting out there, that you can work, right? And you can take care of your stuff, because PhD journey is mostly about what you can do on your own. You'll get guidance, but that is what you will do, right? You are going to take the main lead and get hands on with your work. So you need to prove that you are able to work on your own, and then you're proud of whatever you're working on, and you have some idea, a preliminary idea, that is, as to what you're going to do, or the methodology. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, what was the second question? How's Tejpur life?
Yeah.
Right. Uh, yeah. So Tejpur, it's see, Reet, I personally, would consider myself pretty lucky, because um I love places which are isolated. I love places where there's this, um, rural, not exactly rural, but there's this wild feel to it. So,
I
so a
can
lot of
get.
trees,
Yeah.
animals, snakes here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Hyderabad
yeah,
University.
yeah. So it feels good, right? So
Yeah.
I knew deep down inside that I never wanted to be a part of place, like an urban campus or so. And that is the place where I did my bachelor's from, was a place where we didn't necessarily have a proper space allotted and all that. So yeah, in that sense, I don't think the shift has been that drastic in terms of the scenery, because Tezpur University is also in that sense pretty similar to JNU. There's a
Hmm.
lot of greenery, a lot of space for you to roam about, and just gather your thoughts, not to worry about anything. So there's a lot of, in that sense, flaneuring that you can do on your own, just to not worry about stuff. So yeah, it's the scene isn't that different, but yeah, I think political, the political movements, maybe it's a bit toned down presently. There has been certain issues, with the admin, certain issues that students are facing, certain, issues that we're raising, right? And it's not, the scene isn't as politically charged as JNU, but if there are times when you have to raise your queries, people do that.
Hmm.
They do not shy away from that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Mhm.
the next question is like for people who are clueless, like where to start, as in how to build interest, research interest. Well, do you have something to say about that? How to build research interest, the first
Mhm.
step itself? Yeah.
Right. The first step is to not be overwhelmed with the amount of information that's out there, right? Every now and then you have a new sort of theoretical this or that unfolding, right? Coming up. There's this anticipation theory, this theory, that theory, and then suddenly there's this subfield that's emerging. And then do you go with a field that is burgeoning so that you would have the time to grow as a researcher over there and, and have a, I don't know, just a chance of maybe having a good name in that field, or do you decide to go with the traditional one just as a safe bet? You
Mm,
know, something where there's going to be not necessarily a dearth, or what should I say? Like this is another thing that I have encountered. That I've spoken to some people, and then they have interests, but then they're like, but this is I think it's a niche thing. I might not get a lot of information, or not a lot of work done. So what will I do for literature review? Maybe try not to worry too much about that. Just as a preliminary step, find your interest, and if you're not sure, then you have to look into it. You have to. um what I did is that, I mean, I already had Bhaduri, right? Popular culture. So I knew, sorry, what I was interested in. But in case you are not sure, then look into these different subfields which are out there, right? Already the traditional ones and the newer ones, and see whichever you see yourself working with, whichever aligns with your interests, right? Because we don't have a lot of scope to practically contribute as such as the other hands-on fields might do, right? And that becomes, you might feel a bit insecure about that, because sciences, theirs is much more like, you have their work and then they present it and then they're done, right? But what we do is primarily interpretation based. So you might question it at times as to the practical value, the output. But try not to worry too much about that. Just look at these different things, interest, Google it, use AI if you have to, because AI, if you use prompt engineering, if you use the web search option, it provides you with a lot of good clues, right? And you try to work things out with that. Or you can also use the one nation one subscription, and go for different places through that, via that Oxford journals and whatnot, to see what these prominent journals, what work they're presenting, right? Or they're publishing, so that you might have an idea with that, and see again if it resonates with you. If you are interested, only then it will work. It's not like this is a field that everybody's working on, so I need to jump on that. No, don't jump on that bandwagon. Find the thing which you are interested in, right? Because you are the one who's going to be doing that for the next 5 years of your life, 4 or 5 years of your life, and even more than that, if you continue growing in that, if you want to continue growing in that field. Yeah.
So I would also like to ask you whether or not
Mhm.
you approach the professors beforehand or something of that sort, which is very prominent while apply for PhD and all that, contacting professors beforehand and all of that.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
do you approach the
Right.
professors and all?
See, that I don't have a lot of experience in, because I didn't do that personally. Uh, as you know, I just applied,
Yeah.
got through the interview, somehow got selected, and then I'm in this program. I didn't apply. I think I applied it like NIT Shilchar probably. Um, but I don't know. I had second thoughts about it. I'm like, there are two seats, so I might not get in. So I didn't appear for the interview. Tezpur was the only place I appeared for an interview, and I got in luckily, and I was just free, for the timing. I don't need to sit in interviews in other places. But I think you can do that, especially for places outside. I mean, if you're planning to study abroad, then you do need to approach people, is what I've heard from my peers who are doing this from outside places. There's a friend of mine who, I think she got in at University of Leeds. She shifted just recently, and she mentioned how you do need to approach the people, because you have to find if there are certain prospective supervisors out there who are doing it on this topic per se, and then they want their prospective research scholar to do it on that field as well. So you need to find if your research interests align. So then I think it's or right to approach it. But I think you need to consult with somebody else. I don't have a lot of, as I mentioned, knowledge
Okay.
that
So
side.
like
Yeah.
regarding the interview, uh
Mhm.
like what was the duration of the interview and uh yeah, so what was the duration and how did it go? Was it engaging and all of that?
Okay. Was it engaging? Half the time I had, see, I, I know I say that you have to be confident and whatnot, but when
No,
I
I
entered
get
the
it
room, I remember,
completely.
right? I didn't have my breakfast. I didn't have my breakfast, and after I was done, I think they took another participant, and then they were done for the day, right? I'm not done for the day exactly, but they were done for the first half. So it was already reaching the lunch break.
Okay.
So I didn't have anything for breakfast. I wanted to get it over with. But when I entered the room, suddenly I forgot about why I'm there, what I'm going to say. So thank goodness I took my proposal with me. I sat down after they asked me to sit down, and then they wanted me to speak on my topic. I didn't know what to say. I looked down. Oh, I'm doing it on this, right? And then I started just mumbling, and they said, "Oh, why don't you speak up?" And then I spoke up. Thankfully, they were all very nice. Like they were all very encouraging. They were like, "Ah, you should do this. Don't worry. Calm down. Just do this, do that." So that happened, and then I managed somehow to calm down my nerves for the first bit. And then after I was done saying as to what I'm interested in, what I would do, giving them, this idea, sort of bird's eye view,
Hmm.
then the questions started pouring in one after the other. Mostly the questions were about um, the methodology, how I will be conducting it, or what tools I have in mind, the methods, the duration. So these were the questions I encountered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
So just the last question, like for people who want to pursue PhD in India specifically or even abroad also, and they
Mhm.
are trying, what message do you want to, you know, tell to them or just
Yeah.
kind of
Your screen is frozen, but I can hear you.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So this is just what would be the last message that you would give to people who are trying for PhD admission? As you know, this is
Yeah.
such a chaotic process and such a taxing process. So what would be the last words that you would, as you secured a PhD seat pretty early, while others have to like wait for so long and all of that. So what would you say to people who are struggling or maybe or trying for PhD admission? Yeah.
Boy, that I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that question. Um, because I do find myself pretty demotivated at times. Uh, See, even after you get into a program, it's not guaranteed if everything is sorted out then, right? Because it's not a destination, it's always a process. Then you have to figure things out, you have to work for your plan of research, and then you're scared if that is going to be accepted. And then you have to worry about publishing it in the right journals and also for conferences and whatnot. So it constantly questioning your worth. And I feel that is something that people do even before that happens too. I think it's twice the and you have your work and it's wonderful and then you blame yourself. So I would say, I mean, I wouldn't say anything, right? It's not right of me to ask anyone to not be stressed or to not worry too much or have harboring negative emotions because that is what we humans do. If something's not working out, then we are going to worry, right? So I don't know. For the time being, keep calm. It's fine. Everybody out there is struggling one way or the other. As long as you're sure that this is the path you want to continue on, as long as you are sure that this is your interest and you really want to work on it, that you have everything figured out about it, everything is going to work well. If you can, try to get some opinions on it. So try to reach out to people who are in that field, get their view of your work, see if it's feasible, if it can be worked on, because sometimes when we are attached to a topic, we might not see how, certain aspects of it might not be as foolproof, right? So it's very important to get your peers' opinion, right? You to get in some second opinion as well. And if then everything is working well, then try to apply. And also it's also equally important to diversify. I have friends who are constantly limiting themselves, right? They're like either JNU or D1, that's it. That's not something you should do. Because at the end of the day, it really isn't that much about the institution as much as it's about you being happy in that institution or you being happy with that work, right? So do not try to force yourself in that mold. Apply to a place where you find your research interest is it's available over there, and also you find yourself as fitting in or you're heard in that place. That is important. And after you get in, see if everything is working well, if your relationship with your supervisor is going well, if that is where you see yourself being in. So you need to prioritize yourself, not much about the institution or the work or whatnot. So you put yourself first and then do it. Yeah, I don't know if I made any sense,
You
but
did completely.
that is
I've always adored you. You know that. Okay. Thank you so much, Sneha, for being here.
likewise.
I think people would take a lot from this video, and I love you. You know that. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
So do I, yeah. Likewise, the feeling is mutual. And Reet, thank you for having me over at your platform, YouTube, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. And yeah, I wish you the very best on your journey. And yeah, all my love to the people watching your videos as well. And I hope everything works out for them.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.